He judged the single dad's clothes, but God turned pride into grace. The parking lot of the little downtown church was almost empty on that crisp Sunday morning. Sunlight filtered through the autumn leaves, casting golden patterns on the cracked asphalt. Inside the sanctuary, the organ played softly, welcoming the early arrivals. At the back pew, a man named Mark sat alone, his coat neatly pressed, his Bible open on his lap. He was the kind of man who noticed details: the shine on shoes, the cut of a tie, the way someone carried themselves. Mark prided himself on order, on success, on knowing, at a glance, who belonged. Near the front, a single dad named Alex slipped in quietly with his 2 young daughters. Lily was 8, with messy braids and a dress that had been washed so many times the flowers had faded. Sophie was 5, clutching a worn stuffed rabbit, her shoes scuffed at the toes. Alex himself wore jeans with a small tear at the knee, a flannel shirt tucked in unevenly, and boots that had seen better days. He guided the girls to a pew near the side, whispering for them to sit still. His hands were rough from work, his eyes tired but kind. He hadn't slept much. The night before, he'd been up late fixing a leak in their tiny apartment, praying the landlord wouldn't notice. Mark watched them from across the room. He didn't mean to stare, but he did. The girls fidgeted. Sophie dropped her rabbit and crawled under the pew to get it. Alex bent down quickly, helping her up with a gentle hand on her back. Mark shook his head slightly. This is a house of worship, he thought. There's a standard. He'd grown up in this church. His father had been an elder. His mother still sat in the same spot every Sunday, her hat perfectly pinned. People like Alex, well, they didn't quite fit. The service began. The pastor spoke about grace, about the prodigal son, about love without condition. Mark listened, but his mind wandered back to the man in the faded flannel. Why come here looking like that? He wondered. Doesn't he care what people think? Doesn't he want better for his kids? After the final hymn, families gathered in the fellowship hall for coffee and donuts. Mark stood near the table, chatting with Mrs. Ellis about the upcoming fundraiser. That's when he saw Alex again. The girls were holding paper cups of juice, careful not to spill. Alex balanced a donut on a napkin, breaking it into pieces for them. Careful, sweethearts, Alex said softly. We'll eat slow. Mark approached, telling himself it was just to be friendly, but his voice carried an edge he didn't quite hide. Morning, he said. First time here. Alex looked up, smiling warmly. No, sir. We've been coming a few months. Just moved to town. Mark nodded. I see. Well, we have a dress code of sorts. Not official, but you know, respect for the space. Alex's smile faltered, just for a second. Oh, I didn't know. These are our best clothes. Lily tugged at her dad's sleeve. Daddy, are we in trouble? No, baby, Alex whispered. We're okay. Mark felt a flicker of discomfort, but pushed it down. It's just the children. You want them to feel proud, to fit in. Alex looked at his daughters, then back at Mark. They're proud of their daddy. And I'm proud of them. That's what matters most. The conversation ended there. Mark walked away, telling himself he'd done the right thing, spoken truth, upheld standards. But that night, he couldn't sleep. The man's words echoed. Proud of their daddy. Mark thought of his own son, grown and distant, living across the country. They hadn't spoken in months. Mark had sent money for college, for a car, for everything except time. His wife had left years ago, saying he cared more about appearances than people. The next Sunday, Alex and the girls were back. Same pew, same clothes, but this time, Sophie waved at Mark from across the room. He pretended not to see. After service, the pastor announced a volunteer opportunity fixing up the old community center. We need hands, he said. Any hands. No experience required. Mark signed up. He told himself it was for the tax write-off for networking. Anything but guilt. The following Saturday, he arrived at the center in work gloves and a pressed shirt. The place was a mess: peeling paint, broken windows, dust thick as fog. Volunteers milled about. And there, in the corner, was Alex. He was on his knees, prying up old floorboards with a crowbar. Lily and Sophie sat nearby, handing him nails from a coffee can. Mark hesitated, then walked over. You're here early, he said. Alex looked up, wiping sweat from his brow. Couldn't sleep. Figured I'd get a head start. Mark glanced at the girls. You brought them. They wanted to help. Alex said, Lily's good with a hammer. Sophie's the best nail finder in town. Sophie beamed. I found 12 already. Mark knelt down, picking up a loose board. Mind if I join? Alex smiled. Plenty of floor to go around. They worked side by side. Slowly, quietly. The girls sang little songs they'd learned in Sunday school. Mark's shirt got dirty. His hands blistered, but something shifted. During a break, Alex pulled sandwiches from a paper bag. Peanut butter and jelly, cut into triangles. Made extra, he said, offering one to Mark. Mark took it. Thank you. They sat on the steps. The sun was warm. The girls chased each other in the grass. I used to be a contractor, Alex said suddenly. Had my own business. Good money. Nice house. Then the recession hit. Lost everything. My wife. She couldn't handle it. Left when Sophie was a baby. Mark listened. Really listened. I fix what I can now. Alex continued. Cars, leaky faucets. Whatever people need. The girls and I wear a team. We pray together every night. Ask God to keep us close. That's our wealth. Mark's throat tightened. I judged you, he said quietly. That first Sunday. I'm sorry. Alex shook his head. You didn't know my story. I didn't know yours. Mark looked at his hands clean for so long, now streaked with dirt and paint. I thought success was a suit in a corner office. Turns out, it's this. Right here. The community center came together slowly. Week after week, Mark showed up. He learned how to patch drywall, how to laugh when Sophie painted his shoe blue, how to pray out loud, not just in silence. One evening, as the sun set behind the newly painted building, Mark pulled Alex aside. I have a friend, he said, owns a construction company. They're hiring. Good benefits. Flexible hours. I told him about you. Alex's eyes widened. You didn't have to. I wanted to. Mark said, and I'd like to take the girls to the park sometime, if that's okay. Teach Lily how to swing a bat. Sophie, too, if she wants. Alex smiled, tears shining. They'd love that. Months later, the community center opened with a ribbon cutting. Alex stood proud in a new work shirt, his name stitched above the pocket. The girls wore matching dresses, bright, new, bought with his first paycheck. Mark stood beside them, his arm around Alex's shoulder like an old friend. The pastor spoke at the ceremony. This building isn't just walls, he said. It's grace. It's hands that chose to build instead of judge. It's love that saw past clothes and saw hearts. Afterward, Mark found Alex by the punch bowl. I was wrong, he said simply. About everything. Alex handed him a cup. God turned your pride into grace. That's the miracle. Mark looked at the girls, now chasing bubbles in the grass. He looked at Alex, strong and steady. He looked at the center alive with light and laughter, and for the first time in years, he felt truly rich. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change someone's world. Share this story if it touched your heart.